Michael Oren is Israel's ambassador to the United States and joins me now. First of all, Israel has long experience in commando raids and Entebbe, going all the way back decades. What about this decision not to release the evidence, the proof?
Good afternoon, Andrea. We respect the president's decision. As you said, we have a long-standing experience in fighting terror, and we make that decision all the time. We do not publish those photographs.
And what about the larger effect on the region? Has Israel ramped up its security? Do you have concerns that there will be a Zawahiri or other al-Qaeda group trying to retaliate, some sort of a one-off operator perhaps, trying to come up with some way to respond to what has been a huge setback for the terror movement?
Well, there's less al-Qaeda in our immediate area. It's more in southern Arabia, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, but we have been on a heightened alert because of this. And I think the general message to the region has been extraordinary. The message is that the opponents of terror will not forget, they won't forgive, and they will hunt down terrorists even if it takes a decade or longer.
A lot of questions being raised here about Pakistan. You've long experience in intelligence. How could the Pakistan intelligence and military not know what was going on under their nose?
Well, it's going to be a question that the Pakistani ambassador is going to have to answer. I think you should direct it to him.
Well, we did, and we had him sitting in the chair yesterday. But the question is, what about all the relationships with Pakistan? Pakistan has a lot to answer to the region, to the world.
I think it's a concern. I think it's definitely a concern for the entire world, not just that Pakistanis may have these connections with Islamic terrorist groups, but they're also a nuclear power, and that is a source of concern for everybody in the region.
Let me ask you about Syria. There have been horrendous actions by Assad in Syria, yet there is a clear impression that the United States, Israel, and others in the region would prefer the devil they know to what might follow Assad. How do you justify that on moral ground?
Well, first let me say I hear that rumor all the time, and I can say unequivocally that it is untrue. It's not that we prefer the devil we know. We would like to have, and we would greatly welcome any real progress toward reform in Syria, any progress leading to genuine democracy in Syria. We are not saying devil we know, devil we don't know.
And just very quickly, I've got to ask you about Hamas merging with Fatah today officially in Cairo. Has Israel lost its chance for peace? You didn't negotiate, some would argue, with Fatah, with the group that was much more moderate. Now you've got what you consider terrorists as part of the group. Well,
let me say first that several days ago there was a huge victory against terror in the operation against bin Laden. Now there's been a victory for terror in the signing of the agreement between the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. Hamas is an organization that calls openly for Israel's destruction. It calls America the enemy of the Palestinian people, calls the American people animals. It is an organization that just over a week ago fired an anti-tank missile at an Israeli school bus. This is Hamas. So, and we have been waiting to negotiate with the Palestinians for 2 years. The Palestinian Authority hasn't been willing to negotiate with us. We are willing to negotiate today without preconditions with anybody who accepts our right to exist and disavows terror. Those are the conditions not just of Israel but of the United States and the Quartet. If the Palestinians meet them, we're willing to talk today.
Ambassador Michael Oren, thank you very much. To be continued.
Always.